Okay, we're gonna try this one more time. This makes like the 4th or 5th try. YouTube just has quit working for some reason. I guess if it cuts out this time, I'll just leave this little bit up and you'll understand why it keeps quitting. I tried to reset my whole phone, or restart my phone, shut everything down, restart, see if that'll work. Hopefully I'll stay on. If it doesn't work, like I said, I'll just leave this part up so you know what the deal is and why you've come in here so many times to see what was going on, to find out I'm gone. So if you guys can see me, if you guys can hear me, if you would just send a comment, let me know if it's working. Okay, we're getting some messages. What's up, man? 14-year-old boy from the Netherlands. Awesome. So the purpose of this video, I know some of you guys have heard this a couple times, but I want to say it again just so that people watching later will understand what the video is about. The purpose of this video was that I want to do kind of a 1-year review. I've had this thing for a while. I've been testing it out. And I've had some issues with it, and I've got some good, some bad, and I get a lot of questions about the V-Ride. I have a lot of people message me about the V-Ride, asking me different things, and I kind of want to go over some of those most common questions that I get, and then I also wanted to do it live because I want to talk directly with you guys and answer any questions that y'all have that you can ask directly to me as we're going through this. So far we've stayed on here, so I'm just going to keep talking. Hopefully it's working. One of the most common questions I get, and this is probably the #1 question I get, is how does it do on hills? The 36 is not the greatest on hills. You can shift your weight around on the platform and kind of stand on one side, and it does okay, but it will want to kind of crawfish across the hill. The back end kind of wants to turn a little bit. The 52, it holds hills much better. Have I tried the V-Ride 2 yet? No, I have not. I talked to my dealer yesterday and asked him if they had one, and he said no, that he hasn't seen one, and that I would probably get to see it at the GIE before he even gets to see one. So I'm excited about seeing it, and that's kind of another reason I want to review the old one now, is because that new one is coming out. But hill-wise on the 52 is really good, I think. I had somebody ask me yesterday, can you use it as a walk-behind on hills? No. I mean, I've tried. Once you step off, I mean, for me, the way it is it utilizes your body weight to keep some weight on the wheels. I'm going to flip the camera around. Because the way the platform is back here and you're behind the wheels, and then the motor is in front of the wheels, you're part of the weight on the wheels. So to me, using it as a walk behind, it does not seem to work very good. Consider walk behind or stand on. Oh, sorry. Consider walk behind or stand on. Obvious walk behind is cheaper to go. Yeah, walk behind is way cheaper than a stand on. Absolutely. I know a lot of people think you can use these walk behinds as stand on, or that you can use these stand-ons as walk-behinds, but you kind of can on flat ground, but on a hill you absolutely cannot use it as a walk-behind. It will not hold the hill. But I feel like if you're riding it and you start shifting your weight around on the platform, you can definitely use it on hills. That is like one of the biggest questions I get, though. Some of the issues I've had with this new one, this 52, I've had the carburetor blow out of it. Had to take it in, had to have a new carburetor put in it, which it was covered under warranty, so it didn't cost me any money, but I was out of mower for a little while. and they just happened to not have any mowers, any loaner mowers whenever I came in. Supreme Services, what's up, man? Okay, good to know. What brand is good for walk behinds? Man, I really can't help you on walk behinds. I have never used a walk behind. All I've really used is these standard mowers or these stand-on mowers, and I really like them. To me, how small the footprint is in the trailer, I'm able to fit a lot in a small area, and that's one of the big reasons I like the V-Ride. What'd you say already? Do all the trimmer in. If we use brush cutters and sometimes trimmers, it would be R600. Okay. What do you think of the new Scag V-Ride? Supreme, I haven't got a chance to see the V-Ride yet, or the V-Ride 2 yet. I'm excited to see it. I'm sure it's going to be at GIE. I hope they're going to have one out in the demo area, because I'd really like to ride one. I've talked to my local dealer to see if they had one. They haven't seen one yet. I've got the phone number of the local rep. I'm going to try to call him and see if he can get a hold of one that maybe I can check out. But at this point, GIE is only a couple weeks away, and I'm going to be able to see one there, I'm sure. The ExMark Metro with the ECS grips is the best walk behind. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I really don't know a lot about the walk behinds. I've just never used them. I've seen guys use them. To tell you the truth, if I got on one of those sulkies, I'd probably throw myself off really, really quick. So the carburetor, I've had carburetor issues with it. Luckily, my dealer took care of it very quickly and got me back to mowing. I've had jets get dirty or get clogged, and they've had to clean the jets out twice. And then the other issue I had was one of the safety switches went out, and it completely stopped working. And when a safety switch goes out on one of these things, there is no starting it. And I didn't have anything to bypass the safety switch or anything like that. So I had to muscle this 52 back into the trailer. And even once you flip the little switch and turn your hydros off to make it to where it will roll freely, it's still pretty dang heavy. It seems the newer V-Rides are hit or miss. Yeah, I've had more issues out of this Kawasaki engine on the 52 than I have on the 36. I'm trying to think. I've had a safety switch go out on the 36. That's probably been the biggest issue I've had on there. So now I actually carry an extra safety switch with me, so that if a safety switch goes out, I can just swap it out. I also made a couple of little jumper cables that I'm able to jump the safety switch, so if I can just take the safety switch out of the scenario and I can just jump it, and that way I can still start the mower. Because that day that I couldn't start the mower, it was absolutely horrible trying to get that thing pushed into the trailer. Trying to think, those are the two major issues I've had, are just that the carb was probably the worst one. I know the bill on that I think was like $700 or $800 for the new carburetor, which I didn't have to pay because it was covered under the warranty. You all know that I don't really care for the Scag OCDC chute block. I took that off pretty much right away. So I paid like $300 and something bucks for that thing, and now that $300 and something is this little bracket that holds my trash bag. So I have like a $300 trash bag holder. there's the pedal for the grass flap, and you've all seen where I modify it with the grip tape to make it so it's not as slippery. In the morning with the dew, a lot of times the platform is slippery. I know some people don't have issues with it, but for me it's always been kind of slippery. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I've seen where they've moved stuff around on the new V-Ride, which I think is going to be better. Just the brake lever, not the brake lever, but the deck pin stuff. I think that's going to be nicer, because right now you have to you got to pull that cotter pin out and then put it back in and all that kind of stuff. So I like the new deck system that they have on that new one. And but other than that, I can't think of anything off the top of my head to tell you guys. So if you guys have some questions about the V-Ride that you guys want to ask, you know, you're more than welcome. Like I said, the biggest question I always get is the hill question. How well does it work as a walk behind? And those are two of the biggest questions I get. And then, have I had any issues with it? And those are the truthful issues that I've had with it, have all been engine issues. How much was the 36 V-Ride? I bought that with the company, so I don't really know how much I actually paid for that mower. But I think if you go buy them new, I want to say like six to seven grand, somewhere around there, something like that. So they're pretty pricey. I mean, there's not a big price difference between the 36 and the 48. How many hours are on it? Well, I don't know exactly how many hours are on it, because that was the other. There you go. I'm glad you said that. That was another issue I had. I've had both hour meters on the 36. Sorry about that, I got a phone call. But I've had both hour meters go completely out on both mowers. So I just got a brand new one put into the 52. And so my mower's got like 30 something hours on it now, is all it's got on it, you know, even though I've had it for a year. So I'm just gonna go with 30 hours. But that was kind of frustrating to have those hour meters go out like that, which again, this one got replaced for free. The 36 one, I just left it. How's the cut quality in wet grass? Cut quality in wet grass is pretty good. I think the 52 with the velocity deck does way better than the 36 with that advantage deck. It seems like the advantage deck, the baffles get clogged up really easy in wet grass. What's up, man? How was your birthday? It was pretty good. I only worked until about 1 o'clock. Got everything knocked out that I needed to get knocked out yesterday. I took the afternoon off and hung out with the wife. But the question about the wet grass, 36 doesn't do all that great, but the 52, I think it does pretty good in wet grass. Gator blades on the 36, they cut really good, but I threw gator blades on the 52 and I was getting like all these little scragglers out through the yard, and I went back to just the regular lifts. I don't use the high lifts, I just use the regular lifts that come on the mower. So cut quality wise, I think it does absolutely great job. It stripes. I don't have any kind of extra striping kit, anything like that. It's just exactly how it comes from the factory. And to be able to stripe Bermuda grass, Bermuda grass doesn't stripe that easily, and the striping doesn't stay in it very good. Seems like the 52 does better when it's wet. Yes. I don't have as much of a clogging issue on the 52 in wet grass as I do on the 36. The 36, it seems like I'm having to clean that deck out constantly. Does the 36 new have options to get the velocity instead of the advantage? I do not think so. With the new V-Ride 2 coming out, you might have to check into that. I know right now, with the older mowers, it was the advantage deck on the 36 was the only option you had. I wish they would put the velocity deck on the 36, because I think the 36 would be great then. That's probably one of the downfalls, I think, is that advantage deck on that 36. But that 36, man, I can get it through some really small gates. You need about, if you got 37 inches, you're gonna get that thing pretty much through the gate. I mean, it will get through some tight spots. ECHO, because you use that here. Can recommend an ECHO trimmer like a 2620, and do they last long? Yeah, the 2620 has been a really good weed eater. I think it's got quite a bit of power. I don't personally, I always tell people this, is that I have never used a lot of Stihl equipment, so it's really hard for me to do a comparisons, you know, between a Stihl and a ECHO. So I can just tell you that the ECHO weed eater that I've been using has been really good. I've been really liking it. It's very lightweight for how much power it has. My Shindawa still runs. That thing is like 5 years old. I can still pull it off the trailer right now, choke it. By the third pull, it'll be running. You know, it's funny to run it now, because now that I've used the 2620, if I get that Shindawa out, it feels like it has absolutely no power. How are they on hills? I use Tiger Cat 2 and one other stand on and walk behind. You know, I already talked about how it is on hills. I'll go over it really quick, but if you want to get into a little more detail, at the beginning of the video, I kind of went into a little more depth on the hill thing. The 52, I feel like does really pretty good on hills. You just kind of got to shift your weight around to really lock it in. The 36, not so great on hills. You can still manage, but if it gets too steep, the 36 wants to kind of slide away from you. But I appreciate the question, and sorry, I just can't go back into depth on it. Are you still having issues with the grass catch? If so, I have come up fix for mine. If you'd like to contact me, I can show you. The grass catch, I barely ever use it. I don't promote that I pick up grass. So the grass catch is one of those things I just kind of leave it alone, and I don't mess with it unless I absolutely have to. And that's just kind of the way it is. Would you consider starting a window cleaning business? I looked into window cleaning, but it really isn't for me. Have you ever tried a Ferris? No, I have not tried a Ferris, but I've seen some of those online and some videos of some other guys using them, and those things look they look really good, and they look like they have a really good cut quality considering what they are. And but I think the closest Ferris dealer for me is probably like a half an hour away or something like that. But the ExMark, the Scag dealer is just right here in my town. It's real close by, and that's one of the reasons I went with Scag again whenever I was trying to find another mower to buy, is because of the dealership and how close it is. And why not a riding lawnmower like Walker, Toro, or ExMark? You know, for me, it was like I bought the business. It had the 36-inch V-Ride with it, so I decided to kind of stick with that and get another one because I knew how to control it. I knew that it had it would fit in the trailer well. I didn't have to upgrade trailers or anything like that. So that's kind of why I stuck with it. I've tested out a walker. I really like those, and I would actually really like to get a walker for the hopper, and being able to pick up leaves and things with it, because right now, with me not liking the grass catch that's on the 36, I mulch leaves for my existing clients, but I don't really take on any like major leaf jobs because most people want them picked up, and I don't have any way to efficiently pick them up, because with that grass catch, that thing fills up so quickly, and it's just so heavy, and it's hard to unload. It's just hard to deal with. So I take care of my customers, my existing customers that are on like a monthly program. I take care of all their leaves. Typically I talk them into letting me just mulch them all up. If it's so many leaves that I can't do that, and and it not be just like overly too much leaves for the yard, then a lot of times I'll mulch them up, and then I take the mower and I start pushing them to the middle, and then I'll just rake up all that mulching into a barrel, and I'll haul that off, and it's not too bad. Okay, I'm seeing some questions about other things other than the mower, but I kind of want this video to stick with our subject of the V-Ride and of the mowers. So I'm good with mower questions, so let's just kind of stick with that. Sanders, what's up, man? Thanks for stopping in, I appreciate it. But yeah, I think the V-Ride's been a great mower. I've really enjoyed using it. The 52, man, whenever I was about to buy that thing, I questioned it and questioned it and questioned it, and I started like making lists of what I could use it on, what I needed it for, trying to justify spending that much money, because I wanted to buy one brand new. I wanted to have the warranty on it and that kind of thing, so I knew I wanted to buy a brand new. Yeah. Do you use high temp, high pressure grease on the spindles? I just get the regular mower grease at Tractor Supply. I re-grease my spindles every other time I sharpen the blades. I sharpen the blades once a week. Yeah, turn the backup beaver off. Oh man. So Andy, I bought this house to be out in the country, and 2 weeks after we moved in, they started building a brand new neighborhood like right next door, and they're building the roads. So it's like now I was going to be out in the country and away from all this and in a quiet area, and now I got to listen to this every single day of them building a giant neighborhood. Yeah, like 47 houses is what they're putting in over there. But on the grease, yeah, I just use the regular grease, do it every other blade sharpen, and I sharpen my blades every single weekend. Usually Sundays is my maintenance day, and every other week I'll shoot some grease in the spindles. And that Milwaukee grease gun, I'm telling you, like I said in my video, it's overkill for like my two mowers, but man, it sure makes greasing quick. Have you considered getting a mulch kit for the mower strictly for the fall season? I have actually thought about that, and I want to look in to see what the pricing is for the mulch kits. And maybe, I don't know if I'd want to convert my 36 to a mulching deck, or if I'd want my 52 as a mulching deck. I'm not sure. I don't even know how easy it is to convert it to a mulching deck and back if you wanted to go back to side discharge. But it's something I have thought about. Right now, I just use that chute block. It's still going to push everything to that one side, but it chops everything up pretty good. And I'll put the mulching blades on the 36, and then I use my regular lifts on my 52. And if I have a yard that's got a bunch of leaves, I'll grab that 36 and mulch the leaves up real quick, and then go back over everything with the 52 to kind of stripe it up and make it look good. Just get a shoe blocker and mulch blades from Scag, cheaper and works the same. Yeah, I've got a shoe block. I don't recommend the Scag shoe block. I don't like it. Shoe block, I recommend the grass flap. That's the one I like to use. I just love that foot pedal. It just makes it so much easier than a hand control. What is the best affordable push mower? The only push mower I've got is, well, I guess I have a 21-inch ExMark commercial that is like horribly heavy and I can't stand it, so it's in the shed. And then I've got my 30-inch Toro Timemaster. It's just the regular, like the homeowner edition. I don't do a ton of mowing or push mowing, so it works out really good with me. There you go, Andy. The backup beep stopped. I guess they're done for the day. Instead of 300 or so for the whole thing. Oh, 300 for the mulch deck? Is that what you're talking about? All kinds of country here. Yeah, we sure thought, oh man, there goes the beeping again. We sure thought it was going to be out in the country. Unfortunately, there's going to be that neighborhood right there. But I'm going to put some flyers out over there because it's supposed to be like a really nice neighborhood. They're all 1 acre lots. And the lots are starting at like $65,000. And the houses are going to be like in the $300,000 range. So it's going to help my property value if nothing else. It's just a few bolts for the baffles and everything else. Okay, well, I may check with my dealer and see what one of those costs, and that might be it. That might be something I should actually consider, is getting a mulching deck for the fall. And it really wouldn't hurt to mulch during the year. This year would have been hard because there for a while we had like just a ton of rain, and it was hard to keep up with all the mowing. And then now it's like we haven't had rain in a month and a half, and everything's just shutting down. Have you had any issues with the grass flap? I'm trying to think. I burnt one of the cables on the muffler because I had the top of the deck off, or not the deck, but I don't even know what you call that thing. The part that you open to get to the spindles, there's kind of a cover there. I had that cover off, and I moved the mower around, and that cable is under there, and it lifted up and touched the muffler, and it burnt the cable. But other than that, I really haven't had any issues. The cable will stretch a little bit, and you have to readjust it. But other than that, I haven't had any issues with it. Do you remember when we made out last year at GIE? Andy, I can't believe I just read that. No, Andy. I think that was someone else. You need to stop drinking. That's me and you this year, Andy. Oh my God. You boys have fun. But yeah, I haven't really had any issues with it. Maybe the cable stretch a little bit, just have to readjust it. There's a couple little bolts, and you can tighten that back up, and then it opens and closes. I actually keep mine looser than Grass Flap suggests. They want it really tight to close, and I like it. I like it a little bit looser. It's just easier to open and close on the fly. When are you down there, Kevin? At GIE? I'll be there Wednesday. if that's what you're talking about. Yeah, I think my flight gets in like around 11, I believe, something like that. And then I was gonna go over to the dealer day for a little bit. I got a pass from ECHO, and I was gonna go in there for just a little bit and kind of check things out for dealer day. I've never got a chance to go in on dealer day. Ever have any issues with the Edge Pro? I haven't had any issues with the Edge Pro. I've seen other guys that have had them break and things like that, but I think as long as you're not throwing it around, that kind of thing, it works pretty good. I'll be there at like 10 a.m. All right. Andy, I'll text you whenever I get into town, and that way we can kind of meet up or something, man. Will you be upgrading to the V-Ride too? I don't know. I do want to check it out. I'm going to try to hit up my local rep, because my local dealer doesn't have one, and see if he can get me one to demo and see if it's worth upgrading to. Until I get one out there on my properties and try it and really see what it can do and see what it's like compared to the older one, that's whenever I'll make my decision. 225. As soon as I put it on, a PAS 225 bogs down bad, no balls. Yeah, if it lets too much, if you get too much string out there on those smaller ones, yeah, I could see it bogging down. Even on my 2620, if I pop too much string out there, it'll bog down a little bit. But you just take it over to the concrete, burn the string down a little bit, and you're good to go. Yeah, I think I'm having Gravely get me a dealer pass. Alright, awesome, dude. So you'll be in there. I've heard rumors that there's like food and beer and all this kind of stuff whenever you go in on dealer day. So I'm interested to see if the rumors are true. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like the V-Ride? Man, I would say probably an 8 or a 9, somewhere in there. I can't give it a perfect 10 because I've had some issues with it. I've had some problems with little mechanical things, you know. When it's less than a year old and you have safety switches kind of going bad on you, and it leaves you to where you can't start the mower and you got to push it into the trailer, you can't give it a 10, that's for sure. But cut quality of that 52 is absolutely, I feel like, some of the best cut quality I've seen. Have you demoed a Ferris Z2 standard? I run one in my crew and I love it. I have not tried out a Ferris. I may look at one whenever I'm at GIE just to check it out. There's not a Ferris dealer right close to me. That's another big reason I decided to go with the V-Ride again whenever I was buying the 52, was because I've got a SCAG dealer right here in town. I can leave my house right now and I can be at my SCAG dealer in like 5 minutes. And to me, that convenience factor is great. The Ferris dealer is probably 30 minutes away, something like that. So, and it would take me kind of out of the way to have to go to the dealership. So that's one reason I didn't even look at it whenever I was out looking for a new 52. But I've seen them. I've seen pictures of their cut, and those Ferris, man, they look good. The cut quality looks good. So dealer is what you want to buy. So I don't blame you. Yeah, absolutely. And my dealer here in town has been awesome. They're Pfizer Tractor, and they have absolutely taken care of me. Follow up on the blade sharpener. Yeah, that thing has right there. That thing has been really good. I don't think I would suggest it if you have a really big company and you're sharpening just a ton of blades. But for me, every week I'm sharpening about 5 blades. My push mower, I don't really sharpen it every other week. I might sharpen it like once a month because it's very seldom that I really use it. So every week I'm sharpening at least 5 blades, and it's way quicker than the way I was doing it by putting it in the vise and using that angle grinder by hand. This is way faster for me. I think if you have a whole bunch of mowers and you're sharpening a whole bunch of blades, I would go with one of those bigger units than this thing, because this still takes a little bit of time, takes a little bit of getting used to. And I tried out, I don't know the name of it, but Top Notch Brian had one in his shop, and I tried his out, and that thing is freaking awesome. It's like you can run a blade through there almost just like one time, and it's almost completely sharp. And this one, average is 3 or 4. Let's see. Sorry, I gotta go back. Dealer support is key. That's why I run Ferris. Yes, absolutely. Dealer support is always key. Andy, take the glasses off. No, Andy. I like the glasses. Just get over it, man. I have 3 mowers, 6 blades a week. Will it work? 6 blades a week? Absolutely. I mean, I only do like 5 blades a week. So, yeah. It will definitely work for you. I mean, if all you're doing is using an angle grinder on like a vise, this thing's gonna be like amazing once you start using it. Now, so I was using a 60 grit is what I was using. I pulled it off, and I believe this one is a 40 grit. The 40 grit, way better than the 60 grit. It's really heavy. Now, whenever you first put it on there and you start running your blade through, a lot of the sandy stuff that's on these things will start flying off because it's so big. But that 40 grit was a drastic difference in the amount of material it was taking off the blade and how quickly it was sharpening it. So I definitely like that 40 grit way better than the 60 grit. You ran a mulch kit this fall? No. I've got the shoe block, and then I'll put some mulch blades on. I'll switch from my regular lift to the mulch blades. Sorry, going back through the comments. Okay. Well, that's about it, guys. Is Husqvarna rider or zero turn good in your opinion? I really don't know. I haven't ran those, so I don't really like to talk about those things that I just don't have an opinion on it because I've never tried it. Thanks for the disc tip. What grinder do you recommend? This one is the Milwaukee, and where the switch is actually kind of in a bad spot for these sharpeners. So the switch is right there, and as you can see, it's kind of behind the bar. If you can find something that's got a switch on like the side or on this side, that would be more out of the way and you'd be able to get to the switch. I mean, I can still get to that switch. It's just I kind of got to dig my finger in there and grab just the edge of the switch and turn it on. So if the switch is on the very back of the unit, the way the stand works, it's just hard to get to. So if you can find a grinder that's got a side switch on it instead of that back switch, that'd be much better. Go check out our Facebook page. See Scag mulch kit before and after the leaves. Okay. Yeah, man, I'll go check that out here. Tucker, whenever I get off of here. Andy K. Leave it on and just unplug or plug and unplug. Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. But I mean, I can still get to the switch. But that's just my recommendation, is find one that has a switch on the side. If I had kind of known that, I wouldn't have bought the Milwaukee one. I think DeWalt has one that's on the side. And then I know a lot of guys use the ones from Harbor Freight, and they love those grinders. I've never used one. I know they're super cheap. All right, guys. I want you to start bagging all your properties. No. I don't want to start bagging all my properties. I see these guys carrying around all that grass, and I'm just like, oh man, I wouldn't want to have to deal with that. I mean, I want a walker just to deal with leaves, you know, to have that hopper, but the other side of me doesn't want a walker because I don't want people to know that I can bag and then want me to bag the grass. How's the new shop coming along? I really have not. I haven't done anything with it yet. I stored the trailer in it. I stored the mulch trailer in it. And just some random tools and stuff, all my hand tools, that kind of thing. But I haven't done... I cleaned it. You know, that was about it. The outside of the shop was really dirty, nasty looking, so I cleaned it up. I just haven't had time really to mess with it yet. My goal is once I shut down for the season, that I'll turn my focus onto the shop and start working on that. The first thing, I've got to get some dirt work done to control this creek that's at the back of my property to make sure that it doesn't flood the shop. I want to do that before I do any of the concrete work because I don't want the water coming up into the concrete. So after I get the dirt work done, plan is to do the concrete. After concrete, I'm going to get electric ran out there, wire up lights and plugs and all that kind of thing, which I'm going to do all that myself. And then I'm going to get some water ran out there and just do like one of those, what do they call them, those no-freeze faucets. It just has the one little handle on it. I think I'm just going to do one of those out there just like at the corner of the shop just to be able to wash mowers. Because my plan is out in front of the shop to do like a skirt of concrete just to have like a little area outside to wash mowers and clean everything up and that kind of stuff. How are you liking the headset? The ISO tunes, man, I have absolutely loved them. I switched to these little rubber pieces instead of the foam ones. I wasn't really fond of the foam ones because you had to kind of roll them up and stick them in your ear, and then they would expand. And you had to do that like every time. And if a customer came out and talked to you, you'd have to pull it out, and then you'd have to re-put it back in your ear. These, you just slide it right into your ear, and then it's got the little strap over your ear, and that's it. I mean, it's that easy to put it in and out. So I switched over to those little rubber pieces, and ever since then, they've been great. When you go to the GIE Expo, would you please make a video on the Quick Cat 36 stand-on? I'm trying to decide if I should buy one to replace my 42-inch Sorry. 40-inch Toro Mustang. I mean, I'll try to, man, but I can't make any promises about filming the Quick Track or the Quick Cat 36. Do I want to go to the skate park this weekend? Andy, I would die. I would die at the skate park. I just turned 37. I'm getting old, man. I'm getting old. My bones are getting brittle. I'd break something. And then it'd all go downhill from there, man. There's just no way. We also film a bit of the Husqvarna. I'm really sticking on Husqvarna if you want to do that. You know, I'm going to walk around a lot, and I think I'll be filming quite a bit of different stuff. I don't know how many mowers I'm just going to kind of review, that kind of thing. I don't know if I'll have enough time to kind of do that kind of thing. If I have a little bit of time on Wednesday during dealer day to kind of do a couple little videos like that, just talking about different mowers, I may shoot some of those just to put up. But man, I just don't want to make anybody promises that I'm gonna film stuff and then not get to it. Lawn care business success. Oh, Julio, how you doing, man? How's Canada? Is it cold up there yet? If y'all haven't checked out Lawn Care Business Success, he does an awesome podcast. He was nice enough to actually have me on there. I don't really know why, but he had me on there. And you should go check him out. Check out his podcast. He does some great podcasts for you guys that enjoy listening to podcasts while you're out there mowing. It was hot yesterday. You know, it's been in like the 90s for the last few days, and then this morning all of a sudden it was like 60 degrees, and the high today was like, I think it was like 78, 79, somewhere in there. So today was like really nice to be out there working. The wind's been blowing all day, so it's been pretty cool. Absolutely, Julio. And I mean it, man. Your podcast, man, you're doing great. Well, guys, I don't really have anything left to talk about. We kind of got way off subject from the mower. I tried to keep this video like on point, but that didn't happen. I had a whole bunch of issues at the beginning of this. I don't know why YouTube wasn't working, but it wasn't. So it took me like 5 tries to get this to work. But if you guys don't have any more questions about anything, how do you like the grass flap? Julio, I already answered that, but I really like it. It's really good. I've enjoyed using it. I love the foot pedal. The foot pedal is what makes it for me. Nah, that's okay, man. It's all good. But the foot pedal, that is really what sold me on that. I was late to the party. Yes, you were, man. You're supposed to have the bell pressed so you know whenever I go live. But I've seen some of the other ones that are like electric, and they have like a switch, and you can just, it's got an electric motor. Those I looked really hard at the electric one because I like the concept of it. I thought it was really neat, but my fear was those little electric motors around how much dust and debris and things like that. I was really worried about those breaking down and being out. This mechanical setup with the cable you have less failures. Bell is now engaged. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. So yeah, definitely the foot pedal is kind of what sold it for me. So I would definitely suggest checking out the grass flap. Unfortunately, my discount code does not work anymore. He only left that up, I guess it was like 2 months. Alright guys, if y'all don't have any other questions, I'm going to click that finish button. I'm waiting. Questions? Nothing? Okay. Well guys, I really appreciate y'all coming in. I really appreciate y'all watching. If you were here at the beginning when I had all that problems and you stayed the whole time, I appreciate you sticking around through all the issues with YouTube. But guys, as always, I really appreciate y'all coming and checking everything out. And I can't wait to hang out with a lot of you guys at GIE and seeing y'all then. And I'm editing a video and listen to your monotone voice. Thanks, Andy. You're inspiring me. But definitely, guys, if you see me at GIE, come up, say hey. I want to hang out with everybody, talk to everybody. I think it's going to be a great time. But again, guys, thanks for stopping in, and I'll see y'all next time.